Big controversy surrounding the Chandigarh mayoral poll. This was the big first confrontation between the BJP and the newly formed India Alliance for the mayor's position in Chandigarh. Scathing observations have now been made by the Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, who says this was a murder of democracy and it cannot be allowed. He's also commented on the shocking video footage of the counting of votes in which 8 votes had been invalidated by the presiding officer, thereby handing the victory to the BJP. The CJI says the officer is looking at the camera like a fugitive. I am appalled by what has happened. Obvious that the poll officer defaced the ballot papers. The poll officer needs to be prosecuted. This is a mockery of and a murder of democracy. The Chief Justice of India, with his gloves off, has completely denounced the mockery of democracy that was the Chandigarh mayoral poll. Tell the poll officer the Supreme Court is watching him, thunders the Chief Justice of India. 12th February is the next hearing in this case, but the Chief Justice of India has pretty much set the tone for how the country's apex court is viewing this very, very controversial election for the post of Chandigarh Mayor. Kanu Sarda is with me live from the Supreme Court. Kanu, Chief Justice of India sparing no words whatsoever to denounce what happened in Chandigarh.
Yes, Shiv, very scathing observations from the top court for the returning officer especially. Whatever has happened in the Chandigarh mayor elections has come down in the scrutiny of the Supreme Court. Supreme Court has said that, the returning officer has played a very strategically. He looked at the camera and then defaced the ballot papers, which was scheduled, which were casted as a votes there. So they're saying that tell the officer, that returning officer, that the Supreme Court of India is watching him and he has to be answerable for all what he has done in this. And the Supreme Court has also said that, doing this kind of thing is a murder of democracy and this can't be allowed. The Supreme Court has now issued notice to all the concerned parties, including the winner BJP mayor in this case, and has kept the matter for further hearing in detail on February 12th.
But, between now and February 12th, Kanu, notice has been issued to all of the parties concerned, but the words used by the CJI saying that he's appalled about this apparent murder of democracy, that the Supreme Court is watching this officer and that he needs to be prosecuted, this leaves nothing to the imagination. Obviously, all the visual evidence that we on India Today had shown very, very clearly to all of our viewers has not missed the attention of the Chief Justice of India either.
Yes, Shiv, in fact, the Chief Justice of India has also gone through the video footage which was submitted by the senior advocate Abhishek Manu Singhvi to the top court, and only after viewing the complete video of whatever happened in the Chandigarh mayor elections, the Supreme Court made those remarks about the murder of democracy and how the things have been played out in the Chandigarh mayor elections. Interestingly, the Supreme Court all the 3 judges watched the entire proceedings and then formed the opinion about whatever has happened is not correct for the democracy, and it is actually the murder of democracy which has happened in the Chandigarh mayor elections. And Supreme Court has now deferred even the budget session, which was scheduled to take place day after tomorrow, for the indefinite period, because Supreme Court has since seized of the matter. All the proceedings will only happen whatever Supreme Court decides on February 12th.
To the, just as a technical clarification, Kanu, what happens to the actual BJP mayor in Chandigarh pending the pending the disposal of this particular case? Does that mayor get to function?
No, as on date, he won't be able, though there is no stay on the elections per se, because yes, there was a demand of staying the election, but there was no stay. But interestingly, on the same side, the Supreme Court has seized all the video records as well as all the ballot papers and all the election procedures. This has to be submitted by the Chandigarh Assembly to the Registrar General of the Punjab and Haryana High Court by 5 p.m. today. So Chandigarh mayor, which was elected already, which is a BJP person, won't be able to function till the Supreme Court is seized of the matter.
Okay, Kanu, thanks very much for joining us. I just want to reiterate what the Chief Justice of India has said, and he has spared absolutely nothing. He has taken this entire BJP victory in Chandigarh after the suspicious invalidation of 8 votes, where the CJI has basically said, in that video you see on the extreme right-hand side of the screen, you can see, that's the presiding officer counting the votes. The CJI has specifically said the officer is looking at the camera like a fugitive. He's called him a fugitive. He says he's appalled by what has happened, and it is obvious. Chief Justice of India Chandrachud says it is obvious that the poll officer has defaced ballot papers. This in itself pretty much lays the ground for, I'm not going to second guess what the Supreme Court is going to do, but what the CJI has basically said today leaves nothing to the imagination that a very, very suspicious election has been caught out. That's basically the bottom line of what the unsparing words of the Chief Justice of India today suggest. Preeti, a huge invalidation of the vote in Chandigarh already, even before there's a verdict. That will happen maybe on the 12th of February. But Chief Justice of India absolutely unsparing in his criticism of what has happened.
This is going to be a huge shot in the arm to an already beleaguered opposition.
Yeah.
The India Alliance, practically fraying at the edges, will take a lot of solace today with what the Chief Justice of India has said. And in all probability, of course, we don't want to get into conjecture, but it does seem that the Chief Justice of India, with his observations where he says this was practically a murder of democracy,
yes,
he's appalled by what's happened. It's a mockery of democracy. He's already given them a time for 5 p.m. to put in all papers on why he should not order re-election. So he's laying the grounds for that. Will he follow through in days to come? We'll only know when the next hearing happens. But what we can expect politically at the back of this, Shiv, is the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party combined, who earlier on had touted this is going to be their first win as the India Alliance. You can expect them to hold a massive press conference very soon at the back of what the CJI has said. And somewhere down the line, this is going to make the Bharatiya Janata Party look a little small, because they went to town by, tom-tomming this victory over the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress combined, saying the first test has failed already and the BJP's defeated them. So, expect high explosive politics at the back of this, and this is something where the India Alliance, they're back to the walls. Most of the alliance partners have already, some of them exited. The other one, like Mamata Banerjee, not looking at playing ball at all. Optics-wise, this
psychological
is
lifeline, Preeti, like a psychological lifeline.
Yeah, this optics-wise, this is going to, this is something that the India Alliance needed desperately, and it's happened at least in terms of what the CJI has said today.
Stay with me, Preeti. We have Prem Garg of the Aam Aadmi Party on the phone line with us for a first reaction. Mr. Garg, big vindication for the Aam Aadmi Party in the very unsparing words by Chief Justice of India. He says what happened in Chandigarh is a murder of democracy. Your first reactions?
We are very thankful to the Honorable Supreme Court for holding the justice. And it was a broad daylight robbery by the BJP, and it was a fraud. So we were expecting Honorable Supreme Court to give the judgment in favor of Aam Aadmi Party, and we are very happy that Honorable Supreme Court has today given directions.
What would you say to the specific things that the CJI has said, Mr. Garg? He has called it a murder of democracy, mockery of democracy. He says that the poll officer, presiding officer, needs to be prosecuted, that it is obvious that the poll officer has defaced ballot papers. This is precisely what the Aam Aadmi Party and Congress were actually saying. So this completely vindicates you today.
Yes, that's the point. Because Anil Masih, the presiding officer, had done totally a wrong thing. It was a fraud, and he should be prosecuted for this.
Okay, Prem Garg, thanks for speaking to India Today. Let me bring Preeti back in. Preeti, Okay, Preeti is not with us. We'll get to her in just a moment. But this is a huge psychological lifeline that the India alliance will undoubtedly, welcome with open arms. This may be a small mayoral election, but like Preeti was telling us, the BJP went to town, tom-tomming this victory as representative of the failure of the India alliance. But on the back of what the Chief Justice of India has said, the India alliance will most definitely draw a great deal of both solace and strength. It will perhaps give them some much needed energy and momentum after what has been a couple of weeks of pretty much uninterrupted bad news. Preeti, big press conference, and I imagine that, in the game of politics, stuff like this, does trigger a fresh energy. Perhaps this is what the India alliance desperately needed.
Well, we don't know that, Shiv, whether, what's going to be the fallout of this. But as of today, the India Alliance has had a good day in the office on two accounts. Number one, by winning the Jharkhand vote, of trust, the trust vote in Jharkhand. Number two, the sheer fact of what the Chief Justice of India said, practically laying down on what one can expect. Because in the observations, they've been extremely scathing. He's practically called out the presiding officer. He's given them a time of 5 p.m. to get in all the documents and all the other video footage, which, he's told the Solicitor General that if you think you've got something, give it to me by 5 p.m. Otherwise, why shouldn't I order fresh elections? So if fresh elections are ordered right now, this will be a huge shot in the arm. They won the Jharkhand vote today. And having said that, it's a day. But for the India Alliance, who's had, you and I both know, Shiv, the last 2 weeks have been terrible. Tomorrow, Mamata Banerjee is in the national capital. What we have been given to understand that there is a backroom channel which is already in play, trying to get Mamata Banerjee to maybe meet Sonia Gandhi, so all differences could be put to bed. And there is now a sense, at least, that all is not lost where the India Alliance is concerned. But having said that, it's only a day. Might be a good day in office today, but we don't know what tomorrow brings. But yes, these observations are huge. It will go a long way in bolstering what the India Alliance has been saying so far. And if re-elections are ordered, Shiv, then trust the India Alliance not to, make a full political meal of it, because they're going to go at the BJP all hammer and tongs, because they've already been attacking the BJP on trying to dilute the democratic structure in this country. So, trust a lot of political fireworks at the back of this.